Well, on Friday, the National Cabinet will discuss lifting restrictions aimed at getting 1 million Australians back to work. Business operators are being encouraged to think now about how they can operate with physical distancing rules in place. Angela Ferguson is the Managing Director of Future Space, a design and architectural agency with a focus on workspaces. And she joins me now. Welcome to you this afternoon. Of course, there are a great many different types of workplaces affected at the moment, but there is a focus on getting large numbers of people back to work. How do you think COVID-19 will change large offices in city locations where open plan and hot desking is commonplace?
Look, I think the global pandemic will really mean that the way we work has changed forever. So much like 9/11 really changed the way we travel, there'll be a lot of new measures in workplace design that are related to, post-COVID-19. So things like wellness, things like social distancing, shared spaces, how and where we meet, mobility. These are all things that are up for grabs in terms of workplace design going into the future. So, everything will need to be rethought, even the way we queue for coffee in the kitchen or queue for the toilets. It's all stuff of the past.
And so in the short term, do you see some of the big corporate companies having to do expensive refits, or will it be short-term fixes hoping that this is for a year or two and then we can return to what we used to know in the workplace?
Look, I don't think we'll ever go back to the way things used to be, and there will definitely be short-term, medium and long-term fixes. There's some really smart short-term things that people can do, such as that are related to changing behaviours and rethinking benchmarks. So things don't need to be expensive. It can be as simple as repurposing furniture, re-engineering something existing, doing things like taking out every second desk so that people are socially distanced. So there's some really smart things that people can do short-term. And then perhaps rethink some of the longer term things once they start to test this new way of going back to the office.
Well, I imagine there might be some less enthusiasm for hot desking. I mean, do you expect that we will be walking away from some of those trends that are quite ingrained at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think so. A lot of workplaces prior to COVID-19 were becoming actually really overcrowded and inefficient, and there was a real reluctance to use a lot of those spaces because they already felt unhygienic. So, and people were really trying to circumvent some of those ideas around hot desking by reserving space and reserving equipment when they really shouldn't have been. I think we'll definitely work differently. Hot desking will be a thing of the past, and it might just be that there are new protocols in place where work position, for example, might be used for a single use per day. One of the things that I've seen during this everyone working from home period is that there's been a real resurgence of nostalgia. So we might even go back to some of those old ways of working where private offices and more individually allocated space was available for people. So I think a lot less shared space and a lot more individual space will start to rebalance.
And so if workers need more space to do their jobs, does that mean companies are likely to look for greater spaces in the CBD and other places wherever they're located? Or does it mean that we are likely to see people continuing to work from home and prizing a separate workspace in their residence?
Yeah, look, I think people will definitely continue to work from home. It's been a fantastic social experiment to have pretty much the entire world working from home. The meaning of the workplace will really change. There'll have to be a really good reason now for people to go into the office when it's proven that they can work from home. So some of those, perhaps the increased need for space will be offset by the fact that people are working at home part of the week. I think there's a real opportunity for us to create a whole new way of working in Australia. Some of the way that we design our workspaces is amongst the most innovative in the world. So we've got a great chance now to be able to, design some really interesting creative spaces that are a fantastic hybrid of the best of both worlds.
We're going to have to check in with you to see how that turns out. Angela Ferguson, thank you.
Thanks.